come this time, so I left my heart behind. The land of the Queen had a...
Hello and welcome to the third episode of my podcast, Contagious Creativity. I'm Sophie and I am coming to you from France. And I wanted to thank you for all the people who watched the previous episodes and left some very nice comments. And welcome back. And welcome if you are new here. You can find me on Instagram at Sophie Crespi and also on my blog at Le Scrap de Soph. And I'm welcoming you in my house in the French Alps. It's very cold and rainy today, and I made myself comfy on my sofa. Well, usually it's the cat's chair, but I've reclaimed it as mine today. And there's no fire in the fireplace, but I wish I had made a fire. And I made myself some tea, favorite tea in my favorite cup. And I'm hoping that you either are having some tea too while watching this, or my suspicion is that you are knitting, because that's what I do when I watch podcasts. And I love watching podcasts, or even listening to them while I'm knitting or sewing. So I'm hoping that we'll have a good time together today. So here we go. It's been a while since I've last recorded, and we're still in the winter season, so I don't get a lot of time on my own. We've been having a lot of snow and a lot of rain and a lot of cold, so I've been trying to survive that. I really hate the cold. I'm not from the Alps. I grew up in the south of France, so I kind of suffer from these kind of temperatures, and even though I like it, it's very beautiful. But yeah, and my husband works a lot during the winter, so I have to handle the whole thing on my own, you know, the children, the house, and my job. So I didn't get as much knitting and sewing as I wanted to, but I did some, and I'll show what I did, and I'll show you what I'm working on right now, and share with you a few ideas along the way. So here we go. Let's go. My finished objects. So I finished my Gather shawl. Believe it or not. I did show it to you in, I believe, was it the first episode? I don't remember. I think it was the first episode. And I started this shawl back in July. It is a beautiful shawl. I will show it to you first, okay? So it's a shawl. The design is by Andrea Mowry. And it's a very easy design. There's nothing difficult about it. I would really recommend it for beginners if you are a beginner knitter, because really it is so easy to make. So it starts, where does it start? Here at this end, and then you work your way along the way, and then you have so this is the first section, just plain garter stitches. Very easy, a sea of garter stitches. And then you have this beautiful lace, which is mainly made with yarn overs, nothing difficult. Another section of garter, another section of lace, let me show you. And then you work your way in this last section. So the last section is very long, because we have a lot of stitches at the end, more than I believe it is 280 stitches. It is very long, and then you work the border to finish. It's supposed to be 3 motifs here. I only did 2 because honestly I couldn't take it anymore. It was too long. It was too long for me, and I was really eager to finish. So I thought 2 would be nice enough, and it is nice. And you work the same way with the yarn overs. What is really cool about the bind off is that it has this super elastic technique, and it makes this beautiful clean bind off, and at the same time it is very elastic, so when you block it at the end you can really extend it and give it its full length and its complete shape. And yeah, really, it is beautiful. It is huge. I mean, if I put it around my neck, it is very, very big, and it is very enjoyable to wear because it's both very light, and because it's so long, then you can wear it like this around your neck. It's beautiful. It's very soft and warm. I used yarn by my favorite French, well, it's one of my favorite French hand dyer, Lainamourée, and it is 100% merino, superwash, and I really like the color. This one, I think, I don't remember the name of the colorway. I will put it in here when I remember. And this one is kind of blue-gray, and it's very beautiful. Actually, I made this shawl because I've got this pair of trousers that are this exact same pink, and I wanted something to wear it with it, which seems a bit silly when I think about it, because I'm not going to wear these trousers all my life, but I'm probably going to keep this shawl forever. So, but it goes with a lot of other things that I wear. I wear a lot of pink anyway, and a lot of blue, and sometimes some gray, so it's beautiful. I'm really happy that I finished it. It was a long-term project. It was very, yeah, I decided that it was time to finish it at one point, and my daughter got sick. She got a stomach bug, so we had to stay home, and I had to look after her and nurse her, so I thought it was the perfect time to finish this, and I did. So that was great, and I wear it a lot. I love shawls. It's cold here, and I always get a cold throat, and I like to wear this kind of neckline t-shirts or tops, so when I go out, I need to have something around my neck. Because otherwise I'll get sick. So here it is, the Gather Shawl by Andrea Mowry. It's a great design. It's very easy. I like how she makes the edges. The edges look nice. And really, the bind off I will do again in the future, especially for shawls, because it makes a very elastic bind off. It's great. So yeah, I love it. I love it. Great project. Thank you, Andrea, for that. I have another one that I'm making of her. Actually, she's really talented. I really like what she makes. So that's the first one I finished. The second one, I don't have another knitting project that is finished, but remember my husband's socks? You know, I told you about this, the fact that he wanted socks, very warm, woolly socks for the winter, and well, I never made socks before, but I tried, and the first one is finished. Actually, it looks very tiny because he has small feet, but it suits him quite well. The only thing that I'm not really happy about is the calf, I think you say, because he has quite muscular calves, and the cast on here is a bit tight, so I did a different technique for the second one, but I really like it, and it does, but one sock doesn't, you know, keep you very warm because we have 2 feet. So I'm working on the second one, not very diligently, I must say, but I am. And sorry, okay. So I am, here you go, I've done the ankle part, working on it, and this time the cast on edge for the calf is much more elastic. So what I did is that I followed a piece of advice that I heard from Joji Locatelli, the designer, the knitting designer, and she has a podcast now. She calls it a journal, but it is a podcast, and she publishes it every week, I believe. She makes it every Saturday, and I really like it. And it's very nice because she's a designer, so you get to learn how her design process works, where she gets her inspiration from. She's very nice. She's so pretty, and everything she says is very interesting, and I really like all her designs anyway. And she talked about starting socks from the ankle, and she said she gave a piece of advice about how to make the edges a bit more loose and elastic. So she says when you cast on, use 2 needles at once, and that's what I did. Don't cast on 1 needle, cast on 2 at once, and it will give you looser edge, which it did, and it worked. So I'm really happy, and I'm hoping this one will fit him better. But it is not finished, and he's not happy. He's like, why aren't you working on my socks? Where are my socks? Why aren't they finished? Oh, maybe in 2 years I'll have socks on. And I'm like, yeah, darling, I do work on these, but I don't know, I probably have the second sock syndrome. Yeah, send help if you can. So, yeah, I really like the heel. I don't know, it's black, so you probably can't see much. Can you? The way the heel is made, yeah, you can't see much. And I like the pattern. There's a pattern in the front. No. Well, trust me, it is pretty. So, yeah, I thought that making the heel would be difficult, but I like the way the pattern explains it. It's very clear. So I like it. And I also like the end. Hold on, I'm just going to find... I don't have the word for it. It's got a special name. It's called... It is called Kitchener stitch. Yeah, to finish the toes, to make the toes a Kitchener stitch. I'm happy with what I did, and I think it was very well explained. And what I like about this pattern, as I said before, so let me tell you, it is the Rye Sock by Tin Can Knits, and I think they have a whole series like that called Rye, and I think there's the Rye, whatever. Yeah, here you go. They have a whole lot of beginner-friendly patterns, and yeah, there's Rye socks, flax pullover, harvest cardigan, and they're free patterns and tutorials. And what I like about this is that, so, because it's free, I can show it to you. So every time here you have the pattern, you have drawings. Thank you for drawings. I love drawings when I knit or sew. And here on the side you have some references for tutorials and video tutorials or photo tutorials on their website. So if you look up, like you click on it on your computer where you open the pattern, and it links you to a page with the full video or photo tutorial, which I think is fantastic. And if you've never made socks before, I think this is really great. Beginner-friendly sock patterns. I've heard about a lot of other sock patterns that are beginner-friendly. I've heard about the vanilla socks. Have you heard of these? I think I've heard it on the Wooden Nest podcast. So if you have a good beginner-friendly sock pattern for me, can you please leave me a comment and refer to it so I know where to look. As for sewing, I finished my Farrow dress. I will put pictures for you now.
I declare a holiday. I have been oceans away, but I'm coming home today. Hey.
The Farrow dress is a pattern by Grainline Studio, And oh, I really like it. I think it's beautiful. And again, it is a very simple design, but yet it has all these beautiful details. Here's the Farrow dress. So I made it in crepe. It's a blue, beautiful blue crepe. It is a bit stretchy, so when you sew, it can be a bit of a pain, but not too much. I like the details. It is a very nice, simple dress. I mean, A-line, nothing difficult, but the details are beautiful. The pockets are great. And this beautiful line here in the center, and the pocket line that goes all the way to the center, and you have the same line at the back that echoes the one of the front. I love that the sleeves are 3/4. They're a bit more than 3/4 actually, but they're on the 3/4 sides, and I like that because I always pull my sleeves up anyway when I'm teaching, or so that's perfect. I kind of messed up this sleeve here, the sleeve cap, and I don't know if you can see, but it's a bit wobbly, a bit. So I'm probably gonna have to undo that and redo it, which I hate doing because I finished it with my serger and I have to undo all the serger stitches, which is a bit of a pain, but I think it will be worth it. I don't think anyone actually sees it when I wear it, and I usually wear it with a pink jacket anyway. I mean, you know, I like details and I like things to be well done and finished. So I might have to take that out and restart this sleeve. But on the whole, I'm really happy. I've been wearing it a lot, and yeah, I wear it at work, and I've got loads of compliments from colleagues who say, "Oh, I didn't think that you made that yourself." I was like, "Oh, that's very nice." So yeah, they said I had a nice dress, but nobody thought that I could have done that myself, because it's such a beautiful design. Really, nothing to do with, you know, my skills. It's just that the design in itself seems so elaborate, and yet it is so simple. Again, what I like about Grainline Studio is that they've got sew-alongs on their site, on their blog. So if ever you want to try this dress or any other of their designs, you know that you have a visual help on their site with photos and everything. So that's really helpful. And if ever you're new to sewing and you want to try something beautiful, and you just go and check out her designs, Grainline Studio. Checking on my notes to see if I forgot anything. Yeah, the shoulders. I wasn't very happy with the shoulders. No, I mean the right shoulder. Oh, don't you like this mug? Isn't it beautiful? My friend Rachel made it, sent it to me. She offered it for my birthday. She lives in Texas, and my other friend, Marianne, who's a potter, her pottery company is called White Peach Pottery, and she makes these beautiful mugs. I mean, look at this, isn't it gorgeous? And oh, I use it all the time. Thank you, girls, you're the best friends. And yeah, that's all for the finished objects. So you see, not very much. I've got a lot. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So there's still this. Oh, this one that I made. This little object that I made. I've been thinking about knitting bags since I've become a knitter, and since I've started knitting a bit more, I need knitting bags, project bags, and I think, well, it's not easy to find the nice project bag. I told you about this pink hazel beautiful project bag that I purchased in my last episode. I think it is wonderful. It is a beautiful project bag. I also very much like the the fringe bags. I would love to have a fringe bag, but they're too expensive for me. And even though I can get them in France, they're too expensive. I don't have the means to buy such expensive project bags. So I searched for a pattern, a bag pattern that could, you know, be great for knitting bags. And I found one, and I made myself one. And it's been on my mind for a while that I could maybe make my own knitting bags and maybe offer them in my Etsy shop. So I thought I'm gonna make one and see what it looks like and see if I'm happy with it, and then see how I can improve the pattern or make it my own, and then put it in my Etsy shop. So here's the result. I'll put some photos also. It is quite a roomy bag. It doesn't look it like this, but it's quite roomy. I've got my sweater in it, and I've got lots of room left after that. It has simple, you know, strings to close it. It has quite a roomy bottom, and it is a simple design that I can, you know, I can add some details, like I can put some linen at the bottom here, and then just another fabric at the top, and use the same linen here. I can add a little flap here, so the cords can come here and we can hold it here. So I'm thinking about a lot of ideas to modify the pattern and make it a bit more, I don't know, my own. For this version, which is mine, I used a beautiful Maria Horner fabric. It is quilting cotton, and oh, I love this. Honestly, this is so me. And inside also I used one of her basic design, and between both I use batting, the same batting as I use for my quilts. So it is 100% cotton batting, and it gives a sturdier finish, like it can stand and not drop, you know, it's not all soft, and I like that, and it's more beautiful like that. So that's what I did. I didn't quilt it because I didn't want a quilted aspect, but there is a batting between the outside and the interior lining. I haven't added a pocket because I don't usually use pockets in my knitting bags, but it would be very easy to add one. So I decided to try my luck, and I've ordered some beautiful fabric from Spoonflower, and I'm waiting for it to arrive. It's not going to be until maybe 15 days. So during the next break that we have, that will be Easter break, I will probably make more of these and put them in my Etsy shop if ever you're interested. I added this little thing. Can you see it? I don't know. Can you? So yeah, they're very roomy. They're large project bags. So we'll see if ever anyone is interested in buying them. Otherwise I'll keep them for me. You always need more knitting bags. So as for my works in progress, I'm working on, well, apart from my husband's socks, but let's not talk about that, please. I'm working on 2 sweaters. So the first sweater I've already shown you last time, and I've done some progress on it, but no, I've done some progress on it, not as much as I wanted to, but here you go, that's life. Here it is. It's my beautiful Radiate sweater. So last time I hadn't finished the yoke. This time I have. And oh, it's beautiful. So you work from the top down. You start with the yoke, so there's no picking up of the stitches at the end to make the neckline, which I really don't like, and I don't feel confident about it. I told you that before. So you start with the top, you do the neckline, and then you go on to do something that looks like color work, but it's not color work, it's just slip stitches. And it is very simple. All you have to do is be careful, and then you go until the end. There's some differences between the different portions, but it's very easy. And then you separate the sleeves, which I did here, and then a sea of garter stitches up to the bottom. There are some increase and decrease here that are very easy to make. It's a very easy pattern, honestly. I can't wait to finish this. It's gonna look beautiful, and it's totally my kind of color, and I can wear my gather shawl with it, can't I? Yes, I think I can. So, and don't you love this gray? I think it's beautiful. Yeah. So this is the Radiate sweater by Joji Locatelli, and it is made in DK by, again, that French lady, Lainamourée. I really love it. I will put the colorways and all the references to the yarn in the notes. But yeah, so almost there. See, I'm not that far. Not that far. I've bought some mini needles to knit the sleeves. I've tried that before, and for me it's much better than the magic loop. All you have to do is get used to the very, very tiny needles. I may have some around here. I have to find them. Very, very tiny needles. And sometimes, I know that some people don't really like working with them, but I do. And it makes the process of making the sleeves so much faster. So that's my first work in progress, and I really love it. And then the second one is another sweater. And this one, it is very special to me because I'm knitting it with a friend, and we're doing this online, and it's a very nice thing to do. So it's in my knitting bag, and it's the Weekender. I think everyone has heard of the Weekender. So it is, well, for now I'm going to put it on the right side so you can see. There you go. I've done 13 inches from bottom to going my way up to the part where I will separate for the sleeves. It is a very clever pattern, and already I've learned a lot with it. First of all, it uses a tubular cast-on for the bottom edges, and for the bottom hem. And so tubular cast-on I've never done before, and I had to use the video that she recommends, and honestly it is very clear. It is a Pearl Soho video, and I love Pearl Soho. Their site is great, and their tutorials are fantastic. I mean, if you are new to knitting and you want to learn, go to their site, Pearl Soho, and honestly, it's beautiful. It has a lot of help, a lot of beautiful tutorials. So, tubular cast-on, I managed. For the tubular cast-on, you need, I used straight needles. And then when I finished the setup, rows, I went back to my circle needles. But honestly, it is very difficult to do on a circle needle because it is quite fiddly, and once you get to the cable on your circle needles, it is very difficult to keep track of what kind of stitch you've just made. So I bought some very cheap bamboo straight needles because I hadn't any in the size that I needed, and I used them to do the tubular cast on, and it worked really well. I didn't have to do it twice. It worked from the first time, and it makes a beautiful round cast on, and it's very elastic. So for ribbing, it's perfect. Honestly, never done that before, but it works really well. And then, so you do the back hem, and then you do the front hem, and then you join them together in the round, and then you start working. So what's really funny is that, so the right side is made of pearl stitches, but because it's made in the round, and that most people don't like pearl stitches, and I don't, she makes you work inside out, and you work with the wrong side facing you, and you work in garter stitches, which is great. And so it's just garter stitches all the way. And then in the middle of the back and in the middle of the front, there is this very pretty line, which adds a bit of interest to the sweater. And it is made with a slip stitch, simply slip stitch. On one side, on one round you slip, and on one round you purl. That's all. It's very easy, and it's very, very nice. So it's a kind of a oversized sweater, not oversized, but quite boxy. And I'm making the size S with my 5mm needles. And I'm hoping this will be not too large, but large enough. It's the kind of sweater that you want to curl into on the sofa with a nice cup of tea. And the wool. Okay, the wool. I've never used this yarn before. It's the first time. It is the yarn that she recommends. It's Shelter by Brooklyn Tweed. I had heard of this yarn for ages, since I started knitting. It is a worsted weight, and my colorway is Snowbound, which I think was totally appropriate considering that we had snow for like 3 months solid. But I love the different shades of colors. I love, it is so lofty, and I'm sure I'm gonna love wearing this. It's kind of rustic, but it's not scratchy. It is very soft. And yeah, I will use it again for sure for other projects. So I really love it. So that's the Weekender. So what I like about this project is that I'm making it with my friend Mel. And she's in Alaska and I'm in France, and we met through Instagram. And she's amazing. She is a talented knitter and sewer, and she has so much experience, and I learn from her every day. And she is the creator and writer behind 6 Bits Storybooks, which is a knitting book. So we exchanged, and we decided to do this Weekender together. And when we picked up our yarn, we realized that we chose the same colorway. So that was really funny. So she's a much faster knitter than I am, and she has finished this part already, but she's very kindly waiting for me so we can separate the body and work on the top part together, which I think is so nice. And honestly, working and knitting with someone, it makes you accountable for your project and it motivates you. So yeah, if you can find yourself a partner in knitting, I would really recommend it, because it is nice to share it with someone, even if this person is miles and miles away. I mean, Alaska is like the other side of the world. So, and I have a tip for you. If ever you have some friends that are very far from you like that and you want to communicate with them, we use WhatsApp as a way to communicate. We use WhatsApp because if ever we want to call each other, like actually call each other on the phone, it is free, even if I call to Alaska. And on WhatsApp, what's really nice is that you can record long voice messages, and then you press send, and the person can listen to these messages, and it's like a bit like having a conversation, except it is delayed. And I really like that because you can hear the other person's voice. So you can FaceTime also with WhatsApp, so that's really cool. So I would really recommend that app if you have far away friends like I have. So yeah, the Weekender, very cool project. Again, very beginner friendly. I mean, for now, apart from, I mean, even the tubular cast on, if you put your mind into it and you take the time to do it with the video tutorial, honestly, it has nothing very difficult. So, and after that, as I say, just garter stitches. So very easy, and I can't wait to finish that. Oh, okay. There's something I wanted to tell you also. While I was doing my gather shawl, it's the gather shawl, I was at this last portion, and I thought, gosh, this is going to be so long. I mean, I had 280 stitches on my needles, and I had seen all these ladies on Instagram knitting very fast, and I thought maybe I could do that, maybe I could knit very fast. But I'm a right hand holder. I know, I'll hold the yarn with my right hand, and so I have to oh man, I'm searching for the word. Not leave, but I have to stop handling the needle so I can put the yarn around the other needle and then go back. So it's very slow. It is a slow process, knitting for me. I think you call it English style. So I thought maybe I can teach myself how to knit continental, and then I'll be super fast. So I tried knitting continental, and I thought it was faster, but then I stopped and I did about, 20 rows, and 20 rows, it's a lot when you have 280 stitches on your needles. And then I looked at it, and it was awful. I mean, the tension was off everywhere. There were holes everywhere. And I thought, yeah, they were fast, but I don't master this technique. And so I looked at it, and I thought, I have to rip it off and start again. And then I thought, what should I do? Should I start again with the continental and try again? But then I thought, look, you've tried to be faster, and as a result, you had to rip everything off and start again with your own way of doing it. So that wasn't faster at all. And I'm thinking, why do I want to be faster? It's a bit silly. I mean, knitting is a slow process, and it is part of a slow rhythm, slow life. And it is part of, not being a consumer and wanting to make things for yourself, on your own, not buying things. And it is slow, and it has to be. I mean, if you're a fast knitter, good for you, but not me. And I thought I was missing the point. I realized it's a bit silly to want to be faster. So I started again with, my very own way of knitting, and it was slower. Then I thought, that's okay. I'm a knitter. I'm not a, fast knitter, and it's okay. Knitting is a slow process, and I have to enjoy it the way it is. So that's for me, trying to learn continental knitting. Maybe you have some thoughts about that. Are you a English knitter, continental knitter? What do you think about it? Should knitting be fast? I don't know. Maybe you have some thoughts you want to share with me. So that's it for my works in progress. The only thing I want to make next is a shawl, a new shawl, because I've been quite obsessed with the new collection released by Shannon Cook. I'm wearing my Veronica cardigan right now, which is one of her designs, and I love everything Shannon Cook creates, and I wanted to make the Valley of the Moon shawl. And I've seen a beautiful version by, I think she's called Betsy Farmer Design. I'm quite obsessed with her account on Instagram now, and everything she makes is so beautiful. Also, she's a knitter and a jewelry designer, and I've seen her version and I thought, oh, I want to make one. I love shawls, as I said. So I'm going to make one, and it's going to be black or very, very dark grey. So I've talked a lot already. I realized it's 47 minutes. I've used my iPhone to record this episode. I tried my big camera the other time, and I was happy with the image, but I can't see myself and I can't see what I'm showing you. So I'm doing this with my iPhone, hoping that it'll be nice. So I think that's it for me today. I'm hoping that you've done some good knitting while listening to that and maybe some sewing. So tell me what you're working on and tell me what you think about the different styles of knitting, continental or English styles. And tell me what your favorite yarn is. I would love to hear what you think about the different yarns that I talked about today. I haven't got a book to share with you today, and I think this podcast is long enough anyway. So, yeah, I think that's it for me today. I'll go and pick up my kids from school in an hour, which leaves me some time to work on my sweaters. I think I'll work on my weekender now and finish my tea. And I'm saying bye for now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you, I don't know, maybe in a month, because I won't be able to record before that. And I wish you a good week, a lot of creative time for yourself, and I say goodbye. Bye-bye.
Got on a big plane, crossed a bigger ocean. You couldn't come this time, so I left my heart behind.